This is Actar's Reviews, from anime to figures and beyond.
Hey, this is Actar and welcome to another episode of Actar's Replica Reviews. Now, as I've said before, I don't usually review tokusatsu roleplay toys / replicas, seeing that there are many other reviewers on YouTube who specialize in this very field. However, this one right here is right up my alley. From the absolutely outrageous tokusatsu show Hikounin Sentai Akibarangers comes the Deluxe Moe Moe Zukyuun, the main henshin device and weapon of the titular heroes. For a quick recap, while being produced by Toei, Hikounin Sentai Akibarangers is a parody of the Super Sentai series, poking fun at not only Super Sentai tropes, but otakus as well. Not to mention, the series is targeted towards adults, with meta jokes, Sentai guest appearances, and sometimes somewhat mature humor. Just like similar otaku-centric shows like Densha Otoko and Genshiken, Akibarangers also has its very own anime within a show, Nijiyome Gakuen Z-Cune Aoi, or Rainbow Bride Z-Cune Aoi. And the henshin device is a figure of Z-Cune Aoi's protagonist, Aoi in armed form. And honestly, what could be more perfect as a henshin device than a completed PVC figure of an anime girl, aptly named Moe Moe Zukyuun? That's right, nothing. The box is done up in a similar style to the other Akibarangers merchandise, with the Moe Moe Zukyuun featured prominently in the foreground in both modes, and in the background in the hands of the three Akibarangers. On the back, we have more pictures of the figure in both modes. It also boasts that the figure is exactly the same size and form as the prop used in the show, features a number of sounds from the show, such as the henshin sound and the final attack sound, and lastly, recreates the transformation process from figure mode to gun mode as seen in the show. Accompanying that is a step-by-step breakdown of said transformation process. And that's pretty much it for the box, so let's open it up and take a look at the contents inside. While the Moe Moe Zukyuun is packaged in gun mode, we'll be first taking a look at its figure mode. It's packaged together with a star-shaped base that simply pegs into Aoi's leg booster and does a superb job of holding the figure up. There are also two additional stand pieces that will come in handy for displaying the MMZ in gun mode. Also included is a 2-page instruction booklet detailing the contents, how to insert the batteries, the transformation process, and how to activate the various sound effects. On the back is a short write-up of what the Moe Moe Zukyuun is and what role it plays in the show. There is a ton of emphasis that this Moe Moe Zukyuun is not in any way a toy meant for children, but a high-quality replica targeted towards collectors. You see this mentioned everywhere, from on the box to in all the advertising material for the Moe Moe Zukyuun. They even give you a slip of paper explicitly telling you to treat this item with care, as it is a carefully recreated replica of the actual show prop. So, does this actually live up to their claims? Well, without a doubt. Unlike most of Bandai's other roleplay toys, the Moe Moe Zukyuun does have a significant amount of detail on it. Detail that you would normally see on a regular completed PVC figure offered by companies like Good Small Company, Gift, Kotobukiya, and the like. Now, I won't say that it comes close to comparing to the figures from Alta or other high-end completed PVC figure makers, but it does still have a high level of intricacy in terms of both sculpting and paint that is not seen on other Bandai roleplay toys. Everything that you have come to expect detail-wise from a normal, completed PVC figure can be seen here, such as the folds and gold trimming on her clothes, her armband, her school patch, to even her, panties. Both the soft and subtle features of Aoi and the hard, cybernetic shells of the armor are all recreated nicely with few noticeable flaws. There are also bits of translucent plastic utilized in certain parts of the figure, such as on a headgear and arm cannon. In terms of articulation, you can move this arm cannon, her left hand, and these armor pieces are individually posable and are on pretty stiff ratchet joints. Her head can also move left and right, but that's more for the transformation. Despite having little to no articulation, it's already much more than regular completed PVC figures. As for size, I'd say she's roughly at 1/6 scale. Now here's a 1/6 scale figure of Mikoto in a maid outfit for comparison. But there's more. Being a roleplay item, the figure wouldn't be complete without the sound feature. While most of the sound effects are meant to be activated in gun mode, the first sound effect that we have is usually heard in figure mode, and that is its communication sound, played whenever the Akibarangers relay or receive messages to and from base. To switch the sound effects on, simply slide the very well integrated switch in the grip to the on position. The communication sounds are activated with a press of the top of Aoi's headgear. Do note that the button is on a hair trigger and just a light tap would be enough to activate it. And the speaker for said sound effects is inside Aoi's hair accessory. Before I continue, I would like to mention that the MMZ takes two LR44 batteries, the kind that goes into small electronic toys like Digivices and Gaia memories. Unfortunately, the figure does not come with the batteries and you'll need to acquire those separately. I believe that this was to prevent any possible battery leakage due to the higher-end nature of the product, but I can see some collectors being inconvenienced by that. Thankfully, I happen to keep a pretty big stock of these batteries for said Digivices and Gaia memories, so it wasn't that big of an issue for me. Speaking of batteries, one last thing that I would like to comment upon is how well made this toy is in terms of the hiding of screw holes. As can be seen, there aren't any exposed screws on this toy at all. Even the battery cover is concealed exceedingly well, having to press this inconspicuous button to pop off the plastic cover. Alright, I've been putting it off for long enough. Let's take a look at the transformation of the Moe Moe Zukyuun to gun mode and the henshin sounds. After switching the Moe Moe Zukyuun on, squeezing the trigger for the first time will reward you with the familiar Akibaranger henshin jingle. Jumoso! Brilliant! What some fans might find not so brilliant, however, is the lack of an auto transformation. To be dreadfully honest, I am too. However, Bandai did explicitly say that it was made as a replica of the original prop used in the filming of the show as opposed to a show-accurate replica. Thus, since the show prop never had an auto transformation to begin with, neither does the toy. Not to mention, I'm not even sure if it's physically possible to engineer an auto transformation due to the space constraints and the transformation scheme being far more complex than it actually appears to be. To go about transforming the Moe Moe Zukyuun, first extend the leg booster, fold her legs together, rotate her body so that the arm cannon lines up with her headgear, fold her left hand in closer to her body, and lastly, fold up all her armor pieces and make sure that all of them lock in place at the barrel, the sides, the bottom, and the top. To display the Moe Moe Zukyuun in gun mode, you'll need to bring in these two aforementioned stand pieces and set them up like so. The gun rests perfectly snug on them. And here is the Moe Moe Zukyuun in gun mode, and as a gun, it looks great. It's a sleek, stylish, and really cool cybernetic gun. This mode is mostly kibble free save for a bit of Aoi's stocking and her hair, which I suppose could be some sort of decorative tassel. But since it's accurate to the show, I can't complain. Interesting to see that Aoi's arm cannon has become the sight of the gun and her leg booster the barrel. Other than that, the deep metallic blue of the paint does a magnificent job in accentuating the various gold highlights of the gun, such as the Akibarangers logo on the side. Sprinkled throughout are also bits of gunmetal grey, as can be seen on the barrel and the sight. Size-wise, it fits my rather large hand quite well, being 1/1 scale, though it can be rather awkward at first due to the unorthodox grip design. Comparing it to other roleplay guns, yep, it's definitely much longer and thicker. That's what she said. Something that really gives this gun a sense of quality that isn't immediately evident on the video is its sheer weight. This thing weighs a ton. And because of this, the shipping cost was quite outrageous. Though, come to think of it, not as much as another item I recently acquired, but, spoilers. But I digress. All that weight is due to a couple of things. Not only is the entire gun solid because of the figure inside, the interior of the gun barrel, the trigger, and grip is made out of die-cast metal. Because of all that added weight, the Moe Moe Zukyuun gains a sense of quality and sturdiness that is completely absent in other gun roleplay toys, thus reminding you once again that this is indeed a prop replica. Not sure if you'll be able to hear it, but the trigger even makes a proper clicking sound when squeezed. Speaking of the trigger, let's move on to the sounds. After engaging the henshin, any consecutive trigger squeeze will make the normal attack gun firing sound. One bullet per squeeze, and holding the trigger down does not result in multiple shots. Last but not least, we have the final attack or hissatsu called Moe Magnum. To activate the final attack, we must first hold down the switch for over a second to charge the gun. Releasing it any sooner will cause the communication sound to play. Once that's done, squeeze the trigger for the final attack. Hissatsu Moe Magnum! And that was absolutely 100% show accurate and satisfyingly explodey. Michael Bay would be proud. From here, you can continue firing normal shots or charge the gun up for another final attack. In conclusion, I'd say that the DX Moe Moe Zukyuun certainly lives up to Bandai's claims that it is a high quality prop replica as opposed to being your average roleplay toy. As a replica, it does a phenomenal job. I mean, everything about this screams quality, from the painted and sculpted details to the ingenious use of die-cast. It also perfectly recreates the transformation process as seen on the show and contains all the necessary sound effects. If I were to complain about anything, I would have really liked to have seen some lights installed in it, but other than that, it's perfectly fine for what it is. And not to mention, being both a figure and a gun, whether you're an anime fan or tokusatsu fan, the Moe Moe Zukyuun will fit in perfectly with either your figure collection or roleplay toy collection. And if you are a fan of the show and like replicas as much as I do, getting this is really a no-brainer. The only issue that I can see people having with the Moe Moe Zukyuun is its high price, much more than any of Bandai's other roleplay toys. Though technically speaking, it's nothing in comparison to the complete selection toys. Rest assured, for what you're getting, it's certainly worth the investment. So, this is Actar saying, see you guys in the next episode.